All right, everybody, Rob Ferretti here, and today we're going to talk about car etiquette. And what do I mean by that? I mean, there was something that caught my eye. I responded. The reaction wasn't what I was expected. But if you remember the guy I sold my Ferrari to down in Florida, Rogue Supra, he's got a YouTube channel. Check the link in the description. They've been running with this barn find Supra. And they've got this Supra sort of like covered in like mold and disgustingness that they're going to restore and bring back to life. You know what? Great YouTube content, great storyline there. And he's been driving it to these different car shows. And then he posted something on Instagram, be like, oh my God, the outrage. Somebody wiped their hand on the moldy dirt and that ruins the patina. And I was like, wait, what? And it caught me off guard. And it's like, why would you not wash it? The first thing you do with a barn find is you wash it. And then it turns out it wasn't a barn find. The guy's owned it for 15 years and he just left it sitting outside being neglected. And now he's upset that somebody touched the car. Like, I cannot believe somebody touched the car. Like, why would you ever do that? Well, the reason is you've neglected it. If you neglect something and you bring it somewhere, everyone's going to be like, oh, it's my $500 car. If somebody sits on the fender, I'm not going to be like, I can't believe somebody sat on my doorless limo. No, they treat your property the way you project your property to be treated. And that's the difference. You're going to have two sides of this equation. You never touch another guy's stuff, or like, look, if you make it look like shit, if you do everything to neglect it, somebody's going to throw a bottle into an abandoned house because they're walking by and like, that looks like a garbage can. They're going to throw something in the yard. They're not going to do that. I mean, they're an asshole if they do that, and it's justified to have a reaction of like, why would you do that? If it's somebody's nice manicured house, if it's a nice, clean, detailed car, hey, why are you touching it? I'm a bad guy to ask about that because my cars, I don't really care so much. Like if a kid goes and touches the car, I'm not like, hey, 5-year-old, I'm going to punch you across the parking lot. Mind your kids. I don't do that. It's a car. At the end of the day, no big deal. But I don't really understand the reaction. I don't understand why you wouldn't clean it. The first thing you do to a car that looks like shit is you wash it. That's step one of taking it out of the barn. This one isn't even a barn find. It's just a guy who's neglected it for so long. So if you've neglected the car and you haven't taken care of it for 10 or 15 years, why all of a sudden do you care if somebody touches the dirt on the side? I mean, ultimately, the car, it's going to take more than a wash and a wax. It's going to take a full paint correction to make that look right anyway. So there's no real harm that you could possibly do to your car at this point in time. So, I don't really get the guy, like, what are you just trying to turn heads? Are you just trying to annoy people? Like, I don't get that driving the car around that hasn't been washed in 15 years. Like, if somebody had a McLaren F1 that was covered in dust, you wash it off before you take it out. If you take it out to a car show, people may like rub their finger on. It's like being offended by the guy that writes "wash me" on the back of the car that's got 6 inches of dust on it. That's just what happens. It's, if you don't take care of your shit, you can't be upset that somebody touched it. You're letting it go to shit. There's no, like my Supra sat outside before I bought it. My buddy Roger had it for like 6 years. Sat outside with an indoor car cover and then an outdoor car cover. So it had 2 car covers sitting on top of it, keeping the car in representable condition. That's what you really do. You don't just like leave it sitting out in the field and be like, look, I got a barn find. It's not a barn find. It's in your yard. You didn't find it. I've neglected my Supra for 15 years. Now I'm going to try to bring it back to life. That's the storyline, not, I get the tag. Like, that's the problem with the internet right now. It's just like, you guys reward nonsense. You don't care if it's true or not. You just want to be, oh, barn find, like keywords, buzzwords, yay, barn find. It's not a barn find. Guy neglected his car. Now somebody takes offense that somebody didn't treat it as if it were a concours car. It's not like everyone's going around and rubbing cars at the car show, but they see something that's like, that can't be real. And I've even seen people put like that fake rust look wrap on brand new cars, on Hellcats and everything like that. But if somebody like touches it to feel if it's real or not, it's not like they went rubbing their hands around the car and like I don't get the reaction. You guys make the call. Can we put a poll? I think we can do polls. We're going to put a poll. Do you think it's justified to be outraged that somebody touched the car? Or if you present something that looks like shit, can you really be offended if somebody just touches it? It's not like the guy threw a brick through the window. They just touched the moldy dirt to see if it was actually real or fake. I don't know. There's a poll here. I was just curious about your thoughts. Check out, if you want to see more on that car, check out the link in the description, and we'll point you over to his channel. and you could take a look at it. But I didn't think it was very justifiable. I said, like, wash the car. Step one, wash car. Then you have nothing to be outraged about. If somebody touches it from that point, so be it. But ultimately, you're going to be, or your property will be treated the way it's presented to other people. If you, as I said, if you have 4 feet worth of grass in your front yard and somebody throws a bottle in it, they don't think you give a shit because you don't care. You're not taking care of your own property. So if you're not taking care of your property, why should others sort of respect that? Or it's not as much of a stretch for people to have to respect that. I get that. No, this is my property. You don't touch it. I get it. But if you let your stuff go to shit, don't be surprised if people feel a little bit more comfortable getting, I don't know, not just invading that space a little bit. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.